Welcome to CK4RC.
Hey, would you keep your butt to yourself? Why should I ever have to say that? Hey, welcome back to CK4RC. Thanks for coming back. Who knows what's going on around here? I'll tell you what's about to be going on around here. What's about to be going on right here, as you may notice, I got my good old Hobby Plus CR-24 over here on the old lift. As you may recall, I burnt the servo out at the last competition that I went to, or actually the first competition that I went to. And if you don't recall, I mean, it didn't happen to you. So why would you remember what's going on with my trucks? Well, I remember because it happened to me. It's my truck. So I got the Hobby Plus CR-24 Defender pickup over here. Um, I got a new servo right here ready to go straight from Hobby Plus. I did go with just the stock replacement servo. I have been told that the Emax is a direct fit plug and play replacement, so it probably would be a slight upgrade over the stock servo. But I have also heard from several other guys that have Hobby Plus CR-24s that they've been running the stock electronics for a couple years now, and they haven't had any issues. So I'm going to say it's probably user error, and I probably burned it up just because of my bad driving. So I went with the stock servo replacement. I'm not going to go with any upgrades on that right now. So with that in mind, and yes, you may have noticed that I got the blue Hobby Plus CR-24. I got the blue Only RC's crawler, new crawler design shirt. Yes, it does. Listen, my project matches my shirt. I do that because I can. I've got so many great shirts from Only RC's. I put a little bit of thought into it. So you can pick this up at onlyrcs.com. You can use my discount code as always. You already know the deal. I'm going to drop it down below so that way you don't have to remember it. You can just go visit the website, copy and paste my discount code CK4RC, get 20% off your whole order. Can't go wrong with that. So don't go wrong with it. Go get this shirt. Look at this design. I'm telling you, this is, and they have it on kids' shirts as well. Come on. Go get your kid a great RC shirt and get 20% off by using this guy's discount code. That's a win-win for everybody. Anyway, back to the business. Let's get back to the business. Why do I have the serious face? I got the dad eyebrows going on. That's gonna get my eyebrows are tired just from doing that. That's how you know it's been a long day. When you're a parent and your eyebrows are tired because you've been doing this or you've been doing this, it's been a long day. So, whatever. That's nonsense. Nobody needs to know how my eyebrows are feeling, how fatigued they are, if you will. But anyway, whoop! I already pulled the body clips off so I could do that. So, I'm going to flip this camera around and we're going to do a how to swap out a servo. So, let me switch this camera around and we will just dive right into it. Okay, so got the camera flipped around here, and before we get going, I want to talk about tools real quick. So one of the things about the Hobby Plus CR-24 that I'm not a huge fan of is a lot of the hardware on here, and I'm pretty sure like all the hardware on here is Phillips head screws. And I'm just not a huge fan of that. But nobody asked me, so I didn't get to give them any input. Can you believe that? Anyway, so one of the things that I want to mention real quick is whenever you're working on these things, especially the Phillips head hardware, a lot of these RTR rigs, they'll come with a tiny little tool. Most of them come with an Allen head wrench because most of the hardware is hex hardware. But Hobby Plus was like, no, we're going to give you Phillips head instead. So what I'm getting at here is I do not recommend using the small Phillips screwdrivers that come with the rig. If it is an Allen wrench that comes with the rig because it's hex hardware, that is usually pretty safe. Those are just a little bit more precision made. But Phillips head screws and hardware, just not as precision. And the tools that come with these rigs are just not the highest quality. So really easy to strip out these little screws, really easy to round off the head of the tools that come with it. So I have just a little, this is actually for a drone, the toolkit with the Phillips heads that I got. But I will drop a link down below. Use that instead of my finger. For these tools, again, they're nothing special, nothing expensive, but they are better than the freebie tool that comes with it. So what I've done here, I took the 2 screws out for the front bumper just so I can get that out of the way and get to the screws that are holding in the servo. The other thing I want to do is I want to take out this screw that is attaching the steering servo to the steering links. All right, so I got that freed up. Try to say that without choking. I just get so emotional whenever I'm switching out a servo, you know. And I don't know if this is the same screw type. Doesn't appear to be. Appear to be slightly different. It's okay, not a big deal. So I've taken out 3 screws. I'm going to go ahead and take out these 2 that are holding the servo to the frame. Well, I didn't want that one anyway. Who needs that screw? I'll probably find it. Actually, that'd be a perfect reason to use my magnet on a stick. If you guys remember that pro tip time where I magnetized all the things. And actually, why don't I do that? Get some of my magnets out over here because that is just a good idea. That way stuff doesn't start rolling around all over the place. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. All right, so anyway, with all of that, this servo, just like that, this servo right here should just slide right on out, just like that it does. That's perfect. So here is kind of weird that they have a little connector that goes from the servo to the receiver and ESC. So that is kind of strange. I wonder, so do I plug this? No. What? Why in the world is that necessary? Interesting. The other thing that I was not paying attention to when I unplugged this, okay, so I just made a big time screw up. I was not paying attention when I unplugged that, so I'm not completely sure which direction I want this to go. But I'm just going to slide this in here. So it only goes one direction. It only goes in one way. So I'm going to put it in. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the way that it goes. Maybe. Maybe I'm not. Do I need this? Does it go in here? Okay, I am not real sure what's happening over here. This is awkward. Can't tell. I got my big fat fingers in the way. And then this camera and lighting rig is also in my way. And I can't see what's going on, but that doesn't look right. And definitely doesn't seem to slide in here either. Interesting. What in the world? So, I seem to have a problem here. This servo is not the same as this servo. So, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to look at a couple other servos and I will be right back. Okay, so I don't like what just happened with that servo, and that's a total bummer. As we found, this servo is not just a direct replacement. It is a Hobby Plus servo, and it looks like it's supposed to be the same, but it's just not. That plug is a problem. So luckily, I did have an extra Emax laying around, going with the digital servo with this one. So um, be definitely an upgrade, and it does have the same connector that the original servo had. So we'll go ahead and we'll get that plugged in, and now back to getting this plugged back in place the way it was. It looks like it just goes right in there, and it should be as easy as that. Now, one of the things that is important to do when you are installing a new servo is turn the rig on. And you want to make sure that the steering, where the horn goes, the horn's not on there yet, but you want to make sure that it is in a neutral position. So that way when you attach the horn, you know what direction it should be going, and it doesn't get installed at a weird angle. So just that. Doesn't take much. Now the Emax comes with this white hardware and a bunch of different styles of horn. I don't want to use that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can take this off of the stock servo and see if it will fit the Emax. I don't know if it will or not, but we're going to see what happens. No, sure won't. All right, swing and a miss. It was worth a shot. It didn't work. So the bad news then, at least for the time being anyway, I'm going to have to use this white plastic horn that it comes with, and not the end of the world, but I definitely just don't like the look of it. It's just cheap plastic. I like my stuff to be a little classier, you know, but it's whatever. All right, so I want to make sure I get this installed at a good, nope, just doesn't want to line up. You know what? Actually, I think I need to install it backwards because of the way it mounts on the truck. Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen right there. So let me see if I can get one of these screws here. Ah, magnetic screwdriver is not doing me any favors. Get the, nope. Ah, I didn't like that screw anyway. Forget that screw, you know? That one too. I mean, seriously, what is going on around here? And now my screwdriver just doesn't want to work at all. And I'm in a weird spot because I got all this camera and lighting rig right in front of my face. So the good old magnet on a stick is coming in super handy right now. But yeah, all right, see if I can get this started in here without dropping it anymore. That's what I'm going for. Okay, I think I'm a bit, nope. It helps if you get it screwed in straight. Don't cross thread it. Oh, that's just, doesn't seem to be going real well with me for me right now. Come on now, why does this guy be doing this? I'm just trying to make a video for you guys. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just not having any luck. Why can't I have a little bit of luck? Just a little bit of luck. That's really all I'm looking for. Maybe I'm using the wrong screw. Am I using the wrong screw? You know what? I have a feeling I just tried using the wrong screw. All right, so let's get this turned back on. All right, I gotta get that horn straightened back up. All right, that's where that goes. And maybe I went wrong because I was trying to use the wrong screw. I have a feeling that's what was going on there. Maybe? Maybe? Go with a black screw on a white plastic horn. It looks like that's exactly what was going on there. That seems kind of odd. But hey, what do I know? I think I've proven more than once I don't know a whole lot. So I'll deal with these wires at some point, but right now is not high priority. Right now, all I want to do is just get this thing attached back in place and then call it a day. Because really, that's all it takes. So I will try to use the appropriate screw. I forgot to turn the truck back off. And the transmitter. There we go. All right, so hopefully I can get things lined back up. Shouldn't be too tricky. Oh yeah, just like that. And now I've got to find where that other screw went that I dropped on the floor a couple minutes ago. Would have been nice if I did that when I was taking a break. But I didn't. And now I have no idea where that little guy went. There it is. Now we got it. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. Huh? Yeah, something like that. All right. We'll get, don't do it again. Try to get this lined up and started on this side now. I'm just not having luck. Got these big fumbly fingers going on. It's just not working. Goodness gracious, are you serious? This is what happens. I try to do a video to show you guys what's going on. And no, I'm just not supposed to do this, I guess. So one of the things that I think is worth mentioning whenever you are installing a new servo, sometimes you get a direct fit, such as this Emax is for this Hobby Plus CR-24. Sometimes it's not a direct fit. Sometimes you need a new servo tray. Now, this actually doesn't, I guess there is a servo tray in there. I think it's attached. Yeah, it's really just attached all right here to the receiver ESC combo. So there's not an actual servo tray on this vehicle. But sometimes, what I was trying to say, when you replace the servo, you will need to replace the servo tray. Sorry for spacing out there. I'm trying to get some things happening over here. That's what I'm trying to do. And as always, when it comes to RCs, nothing can come with instructions. So when there's different size hardware, when wires are supposed to go in certain places, there's nothing laid out anywhere that explains any of that. So you kind of just have to start trial and error, just trying to screw things together. And I'm really having a hard time here. I could use my work stand, and that's kind of what it's for. I just, for some reason, refuse to. So, see if we can get this started. There we go, finally. Get that going into the servo horn. I don't want to get it going too far. It's already coming out the other side, so I need to back that out a little bit. And then I need to get the steering link in place. Come on. Fell back here and got tangled up with the suspension link. There we go, finally. Okay. So I'll try to hold this into place while I get the servo horn screwed to it. It's not doing very well. I got these big dumb fingers go along with this big dumb face, and things just don't want to cooperate. It really is annoying. Just kind of the way things work sometimes. So sometimes you just got to try to get a little bit of dumb luck. You know what? Sometimes things just kind of work out. So believe it or not, that's actually in place there. So just like that, in the span of, I don't know, 15 minutes, we have swapped out steering servo. And not only have we swapped out the steering servo, we went with a pretty nice little upgrade that I wasn't planning on doing. With the digital Emax servo instead of, gosh, the screwdriver is magnetic enough to be a pain, but it's not magnetic enough to be useful. All right, so get that one driven home. We'll get this guy driven home, and this will be the last screw that we have to put back in before we are all done and good to go. Just got to get it driven home just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy is what some people say. So now what I'm going to do, turn on the transmitter, turn on the truck, and just like that, I have steering. It is a lot more responsive too. Goodness gracious. Whoop, 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 whoop. If I want to, I can climb that metal tray, because as I have shown before, this Hobby Plus CR-24 is just a great truck. And especially with this upgraded steering servo now, I'm ready to go comping again. So I'm going to turn that off. And just like that, we're good to go. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. That's all it took. And just like that, we're good to go. It was 5, 6 screws, and we've got a servo out. We've got a new servo in, and this little puppy right here is ready to roar. Puppies roar? I think I'm mixing up my analogies or similes or metaphors. I don't know. Listen, I'm not an English major professor. I write books, but I don't know how the English language actually works. Whatever. That's all it takes. It's as simple as that. That's what I love about these little micro rigs. They're so easy to they're affordable, they're easy to work on, and if you mess something up, you're not out that much. So you just start over again. And these micro crawlers, this hobby is just, it's the place to be. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm glad you keep coming back. So hit that quad effect on your way out. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Watch some of these other videos. It's going to pop up probably somewhere in this area right here, the subscription, or vice versa. You flip-flop them. Something like that's going to happen over here in this region. But do that. So click on that stuff. Leave me a comment. Let me know what have you been wrenching on, huh? What kind of vehicle, what kind of projects, and what kind of progress are you making? Leave me a comment. Let me know how it's going. But for today, that's all we got. It's just that easy. So I'm going to shut up, and I will see you next time.